The body moves fast. The mind moves faster. But presence has its own rhythm, slower than thought, softer than impulse, truer than control. We are always between beats, running toward the next task, anticipating the next word, scrolling through the next distraction. The pace of the world trains us to confuse speed with direction. But what if harmony isn't found by moving faster, but by listening closer? Presence is not about stopping, it's about synchronizing. When body and mind begin to share the same tempo, life stops feeling like a chase and starts feeling like a dance. The rhythm of presence begins with breath. Each inhale pulls us into being. Each exhale releases resistance. The body keeps time like a drum we forget we're playing. The heart, steady and ancient, marks the downbeat of existence. And in between those pulses lives the silence we call awareness. Most of us live one step ahead of our bodies, thoughts leaning forward, hands half a second behind the present. We plan faster than we feel. We answer before we hear. But when the rhythm syncs, when the body and mind finally meet on the same note, everything slows without stopping. Stillness starts to move. Presence is not stillness, it's harmony. It's the alignment of motion and meaning. It's dancing with time instead of wrestling it. Because time doesn't fight, it flows. And when we move with it, peace becomes momentum instead of pause. The mind loves tempo. The soul loves tone. When we hurry, we hear rhythm but lose melody. The music of life becomes noise, too fast to feel. But slow down, and every sound returns to shape. Hum of morning light, the rhythm of footsteps aligning with the heartbeat, the breath that begins to sound like gratitude. To walk consciously is to remember that movement itself can be meditation. The feet anchor the body anchors the mind. Each step becomes a reminder. You are not late, you are not early, you are exactly where rhythm wants you to be. In presence, even the smallest gestures become choreography. The turn of a page, the sip of tea, the glance that actually sees. This is how the ordinary becomes sacred, by being noticed in time with the breath. The body speaks the language of now. It knows fatigue before we name it. It knows calm before we describe it. But we often drown it out with thought, as if awareness lived only in words. Presence asks for the opposite, to let the body lead the conversation, to listen through skin, through heartbeat, through still movement. The rhythm of presence is different for everyone. For some it's slow and deliberate, like tide. For others it's alive and spontaneous, like flame. But whatever its tempo, it always begins in the same place: attention. Attention is the metronome of the soul. It's how the invisible becomes audible. We cannot live fully in half tempos. If the body rushes and the mind resists, we fracture our own rhythm. But when both align, when the inhale meets the thought, when intention matches gesture, we begin to feel what calm actually sounds like. The world has its own percussion, the sway of trees in wind, the echo of footsteps in an empty street, the soft, unseen tempo of light shifting across a wall. When we slow to listen, we discover that presence isn't private, it's shared. Everything is already moving in time together. We are simply invited to join. Sometimes we confuse rest with stopping, but even rest has rhythm. A pause in music isn't silence, it's anticipation. The same is true in life. Pauses aren't absence, they're breath between melodies. When we stop resisting rhythm, we start belonging to it. The mind thinks harmony is achieved through control, but control is just another kind of dissonance. Presence is surrender, not to chaos, but to coherence. It's allowing movement to guide us instead of define us. It's letting time be a partner, not an enemy. Presence doesn't happen once, it's practiced. We lose rhythm, we return, we rush, we breathe, we forget. We feel again. Each return is a rehearsal for peace. The more we realign, the more natural it becomes, till presence stops being a moment and starts being a way of moving. We often ask what calm looks like, but maybe it's not something to see, it's something to feel. It feels like exhaling after years of holding. It feels like being in time with yourself, no longer ahead or behind, but perfectly balanced between breath and thought. Presence isn't a frozen picture, it's a living rhythm. It flexes, it shifts, it forgives. It meets you wherever you are and invites you to slow enough to belong. The body doesn't need to be still to be peaceful. It just needs to be here. The rhythm of presence is not silence, it's harmony. It's the body and the mind bowing to the same pulse. It's the heart understanding that time isn't to be mastered, it's to be trusted. And in that trust, every movement becomes music. If this moment brought you calm, stay a while, subscribe, and let this space remind you that peace isn't outside of motion. It's the rhythm beneath it. Every day we return here to breathe, to listen, to remember that presence was never missing, only waiting for tempo. This is form within mind, where calm takes shape.